of this show. You know, as a veteran, I always say this, and I say this at the beginning of every show, that I'm proud. I'm proud. And some of the greatest memories that I have of my life was being in the military. And for those of you out there that are either retired military or you are currently serving, to you and your families, this show is for you. I'm proud to be associated with the two gentlemen that I'm about ready to introduce you to. Michael Aharoni, of course, of amazing real estate man here on Long Island, and just, I mean, here every Thursday doing this show out of the goodness of his heart, and of course the amazing attorney Brian Goldman, and I'm proud to be associated with you guys. And now, here they are.
Well, appreciate that, Eric. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back.
Thank you. I hope you guys all missed me. I wasn't here last
Nope.
week. You didn't
Yes,
miss me at all.
we missed you.
Okay.
We missed you.
I watched the show. The show
had
was very good.
Yes.
Not as good as it is when I'm there.
You were going to be here, so.
Yes, yes. It was a great show nonetheless. Anyone listening out there, you can watch us on www.veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com. Check us on Facebook. If you're friends with me, you can check my live feed or go to the WLINY page, and you can see the Facebook there as well. We have two special guests, three special guests, two companies, and I'm very proud to have them on. First and foremost, sitting next to me, Stephen from Malloy Brothers Moving and Storage, an agent of Mayflower. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome, welcome. And it's a beautiful day, and I wanted you to come out, speak to our veterans and active military, and talk a little bit about what they go through PCSing, going through moving, where you come in, how you can help them, and really what you do for our veterans. I'm on your website now, www.malloybros.com, MOLLOYBROS.com. And so why don't you begin? Tell us a little bit about yourself, about the company, and we'll take it from there.
Great. Well, thank you very much for having me. As you said, my name is Stephen Seligson with Malloy Brothers. I've been with Malloy for almost 3 years. We are, as Michael said, an agent for Mayflower Transit. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. Basically, what that means is it's similar to a car dealership where you buy a GM from Joe's GM dealership, but you're really buying a GM. So in our case, we're Malloy Brothers, but we're a national company, an international company, actually. And we can help move people really across the street or around the world. What happened with us is we got involved with Michael and his organization a few years ago, not even a few years, because about a year ago, to support the heroes of our country, to help them get into their new homes. Well, he's got all sides of the services together with finding them a home, the mortgages, the legal services, and we're just a natural extension to, once all those things happen, we want to help them move into a home. And as you can probably aware, aside from being overseas, moving is probably the second stressful thing in their lives.
Without question, they do a lot of shifting as they PCS, or they go from being discharged to where they need to get home. And having a moving company like yourself really be there for them. I know we've used your company for the veterans that we've helped.
Yes.
And they've only said great things about that.
Thank you.
And it's just being there and helping them. And I know you give discounts as well. Is that correct?
Correct. We work with the veteran. I personally go out to see them myself. I understand what their needs are, what their biggest concerns are. In some cases, it's financial. In some cases, we moved someone recently who her husband worked like 24/7 and didn't have the capacity to do the packing and a lot of things ourselves. So we went in and helped them with all that assistance as well. The other benefit for us, quite honestly, is we want to meet veterans that are looking for work, because we could really put them in business from themselves as a mover, which is just a completely different side of this that we've talked about a little bit.
That's great. That's right.
Veterans, helping veterans, helping veterans.
Exactly.
Phenomenal. Let me ask something. When you go to a house or an apartment, without giving us the fee structure, what do you look at? What is someone supposed to think about when they're going to hire you?
Okay, good. That's a good question. So the first thing we do is we find out what is their biggest, most important concern about moving, because people have heard all kinds of horror stories about moving and moving in general, whether it's a vet or not, and we want to understand their concerns are, and we want to put to bed those concerns right off the bat. Then we take an inventory of the house. We want to understand how much they're moving, what services that they need. Do they need packing? Do they need just a moving service? We want to look at the site conditions. Is it a second floor walk-up or a third floor walk-up, or is it, a one-story ground floor? Because that'll helps us to prepare, a cost proposal for them. And then once again, being that they're veteran, we help them out with many other things, free cartons. Once again, we can discount the moves in certain ways as well.
That's fantastic. Now, you're a nationwide company, you said international, but from a nationwide perspective, if we have military servicemen in Arizona and they're relocating to New York, no problem for your company?
No problem. Actually, we could even relocate people from Arizona to Florida if they wanted. Because of we're a network of about 600 different agents throughout the country. And Mayflower is also, it's Mayflower, it's part of Unigroup, which is our corporate structure, which also represents the United Van Lines as well. So all those three companies together can move people anywhere, including international. We just moved someone to Punta Cana last week.
Nice. If you're out there listening and you want to call in to ask any questions regarding moving, you can give us a call at the station. Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going off the top of my memory here. 888-80-WLINY.
Yes, or you could also call 888-583-9930, 888-583-9930.
All right, see, my memory's working.
Not too bad.
If you want to get in touch with Stephen or Malloy Brothers, try to give you the phone number off of the website.
Sure, that's fine.
You can call 877-576-3365. Once again, 877-576-3365. They're definitely out there helping those veterans, helping the active military families move from place to place. You already have enough stress. Have a moving company like Malloy Brothers definitely help you with that transition. But I want to backtrack. You said something very important, which I totally forgot you even did, and I definitely want to touch upon this. Is you're actually looking to hire veterans.
We certainly are, absolutely.
And that's huge. There's a lot of veterans out there and veterans and active military going to be discharged shortly that may need jobs.
Correct.
And having a moving company like yourself really put your foot forward and saying to these veterans, hey, we're here, come on down. If you're qualified, we'll hire you, is huge.
Are you looking just in New York to hire vets, or is this a nationwide concern?
Well,
Tell us about that.
Brian, the industry in general is down substantially with drivers. When I say drivers, I mean lead crew members that drive the trucks and also do the moving. Across the country, off the top of my head, I think the average age of a driver in the industry is probably approaching around 60. So there is a massive shortage of drivers in the industry, and an over-the-road driver, which is a driver, that will go, from New York to Florida, New York to California, or all over the country. They are completely employed by us, but what happens is they're really their own independent van operator. So they have all their own standards that they have to follow, but they can literally be in business for themselves and make a very good living doing so.
Do you sponsor them in getting their licenses?
We would certainly help that. We would first start training them, getting them, on local moves, getting them out on the trucks, teaching them the right ways to do things. Because, quite honestly, it's not about lifting things up and putting things down. There's really an art to doing this correctly. There's an art to packing. You want to make sure that our customers' goods arrive safely.
I hate packing. I tried to move from my little apartment to the house, and I will never do that again.
I was telling him before, I had an apartment on the same floor in a building, and I moved from one end of the building on the 6th floor to the other end. And I thought, why not? It's on the same floor. I can just wheel things down. The most horrendous experience of my life.
You will be hired. I'm on your website, as I said, www.malloybros.com. And I see you have a lot of tools and tips on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Again, those veterans and active militaries out there, anyone listening for that matter, if you want to inquire about Malloy Brothers or having a veteran-focused and veteran-supportive company go out there and help you move, definitely contact them, 877-576-3365. And what you do for our veterans and helping them and discounting them and even hire them is great. So
Thank you very much.
we are very honored to have you on staff.
Glad to be here.
What I want to talk about very briefly is our local community here. For those of you watching or listening, we're actually stationed here in Lake Grove. You have an office in Farmingdale, is that correct?
Correct.
Great. So let's talk about the current market that we're in right now, where we stand in Long Island for those listening here. How can someone basically where, whoa, that mic goes by itself. How far will you go out being stationed here in Farmingdale? How many hours usually is it? How do you basically go from there? Because I know you mentioned that you physically will go see them.
Well, I'll honestly go anywhere. Our company reaches, we have our corporate office in Farmingdale. We also have an office in Maspeth, Queens. We have an office in Harrison, New Jersey. We have a New York City office. We cover the entire tri-state area, Lower Connecticut, New Jersey, and from here all the way out to the Hamptons. And we'll really go anywhere. That's where we cover for origin services. For destination, it doesn't matter. And if that's my own, Malloy Brothers covers origin services. If you wanted, as I said before, to go from, Arizona to Florida, we could still make arrangements for you to do that as well.
Awesome. We're going to go to commercial very shortly, but I just wanted to wrap it up with you. If you have anything else you wanted to say
I just want to let you
before?
know, those people listening out there, Sell to a Veteran, as you all should know by now, is this not-for-profit organization designed to help a veteran get his VA loan, utilize his VA loan, get himself a pre-approval, and get him a house. And recently, I'm proud to say that we dealt with Malloy Brothers. We had a client that went through the process. We took them from contact to contract to closing. And then I just learned from you a few moments ago that they utilize your services. I'm proud of that fact. I'm proud of the fact that, that you were able to help our people, everyone, all the veterans out there. And I'm even a little bit more proud of the fact that we were able to facilitate that, and that it is a full circle. And now to tell us that you're hiring veterans, what more can we ask for? I mean, really, you're doing God's work.
The
It's
reason
phenomenal.
why we're all here today is because of the people that have fought for us. And, anything we can do to help these people is what we want to be doing.
Well, listen, Stephen, appreciate you coming out. Once again, Malloy Brothers Moving and Storage. If you want to contact them, go to www.malloybros.com or 877-576-3365. Stay tuned. After the commercial break, we're going to have Contour Mortgage. See you soon.
Let me tell you about Goldman & Maurer. Goldman & Maurer is a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. With over 50 years of combined legal experience, Goldman & Maurer offers a wide array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the area of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman especially prides himself in working closely with veterans and guiding them step by step through purchase of their new home. Ellen Maurer practices exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman & Maurer, a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. Goldman & Maurer for all of your legal needs. Let me tell you about the law office of James E. Way. James has been providing 18 years of service to the real estate community with dedication to the needs of first-time home buyers and is well-versed in all facets of veterans' home funding. James will take all of the veterans and their military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call for all of your real estate needs at 516-487-0100. That's 516-487-0100. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapy, CIIT Center, is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to the individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each of their patients to improve their overall quality of life. When you're looking for insurance, there's none better than the Lerner Agency, Andrew Lerner, I got it right this time. The Lerner Agency, 71 Glen Cove Road, Greenvale, New York. 71 Glen Cove Road, Greenvale, New York. Give them a call at 516-621-7400. That's 516-621-7400. you're in good hands with Allstate. Sell to a Veteran is a nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island that provides U.S. military and veterans families with much-needed services to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan, in buying, selling, or refinancing a home. If you're a veteran or an active military serviceman or woman, call Sell to a Veteran. Boy, here you go, live radio. Sell to a Veteran today, 888-234-7171, 888-234-7171. Magnificent Homes. It wouldn't be Long Island without Magnificent Homes. And they're headquartered in Great Neck, New York, but serving the entire metropolitan area. Magnificent Homes and its staff works daily to educate prospective home buyers and sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Homes, LLC at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171, 888-234-7171. And now back to Veterans Entertainment Talk Show. And here they are, Mike, Brian, and myself. I'm Eric.
There you
Eric.
go. At least you didn't forget about yourself,
See that?
right?
I didn't forget myself today. How's that?
What I'm going to do is, if you can adjust the camera also, because I got to see this beautiful
Yep,
man
I
as
can do
well.
that.
Because it is a live show, as we know. Some of you are listening, some of you are seeing as well. So we definitely want to make sure we get this beautiful radio face involved also.
It's a radio
So-
face.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to jump in. Here's our second guest. Let me preface by saying this is a bank that I hold very dear to my heart, as I know Brian does as well.
Absolutely.
And this is not just your typical bank. This is not your big lender. This is a bank that not only has won Best of Long Island 2 times out of the past 3 years, but they focus on the veterans. They focus on our military. Of course, they do other loans, and they'll discuss that as we go on. But this is a bank that has the veteran, you, in mind. You know, right on their website, www.contourmortgage.com, right there, smack, first page, homepage, VA loans. Our thank you to those that have served. Contour is committed to helping those that have honorably served our country. Contour has financing options to help you get a home with little or no money down. So without further ado, I want to introduce our 2 guests, and I'll have Brian start asking the questions. Adam and Brian and Adam, thank you so much for coming down. It truly is an honor to have you both. And these veterans and active military families out there that want to possibly purchase a home, the first thing they need to do is, of course, speak with you. So
Yeah, let me just say one other thing. When we formulated Sell to a Veteran, when we saw that there are veterans out there who were not aware of their veteran loans and what the program provides, we were told by a lot of veterans that they Googled looking for a bank, and they found a bank in Missouri. And we dealt with the bank, and they do a fine job. But Michael and I felt that, why go to Missouri? Well, why do we have to go to Missouri? There has to be a bank near us that can do the kind of work that needs to be done for our dear veterans and military servicemen and women. We sought out, and we were proud to be introduced to Contour Mortgage. And I can't tell you how excited we are to be able to work with you, because we've seen the kind of work that both of you gentlemen do, and it's phenomenal. You know, buying a house is one of the most stressful things that a person can do in their lives. I guess that and getting married, paying taxes.
And having a baby.
And having a baby, yes. And
I got 9 of them, Mike. All right, all right. What do you want to know? All ranges, sizes, and everything. Whatever you need.
And and for me, speaking as both a real estate broker and even more importantly as an attorney, been practicing for 31 years, I've dealt with clients going through the process, and it can be an extremely horrendous concept to go through. I just had a closing today, and my client, I mean, God bless her, weeks and weeks and weeks of not knowing whether she was going to get a mortgage. Then she got the mortgage, and it was just a fiasco. So I'm so proud to be able to introduce both of you. Adam, why don't you start off? Why don't you introduce yourself and your relationship to Contour?
Sure. Again, thank you for having us here today. I want to take a moment just to say thank you for the veterans for the service, either actively or have served us in the past, because this country wouldn't be as great as we are today without the support and actions of our veterans. Contour Mortgage is...
Excuse me just 1 second, we're a little technical.
hold on, live.
There we go. That would help.
Hello.
Now you have to start all over again.
I want to, again, just thank the the veterans that are currently serving and have served our country. This country wouldn't be the great country that we are today without their support and going out there and fighting for us and representing us both overseas and here. To talk about Contour Mortgage, and I heard the word bank floating around. We're not a bank. We are a direct lender, and there is a difference with that. Insofar as we are a community lender. We have an emphasis on face-to-face service, and we certainly have placed an emphasis on working with veterans, first responders, and people within the community. And that emphasis is that it's not just as if you would see Quicken Loans with a Rocket Mortgage. You certainly don't secure financing by pushing a button on your phone and launching that out into cyberspace. You want to roll up your sleeves and sit down with people that understand the community, understand the market, work with a fellow veteran, because we have several veterans on staff, not by accident but by design. And it's a totally different experience when you're working with someone that has those beliefs and values as the fabric of the company. And it's not just a soundbite to be here on the radio. It's truly what the ideals and what the company is founded on, and it's those principles. We're fortunate that we have outstanding people that work with us, with Brian Halloran. Brian has recently joined the company, and it's been a fantastic addition to us as we continue to grow and serve not only here in Long Island, but in the other states that we're licensed in.
Well, first, tell us where you're located.
Okay, our headquarters is located in Garden City in Nassau County.
And do you have offices in other states as well?
Yes, we have offices we're licensed in 19 states, and we have branch locations in, I would say, about 5 currently right now, and then we operate and help out-of-state veterans and consumers in the other states that we do business in.
Awesome. Let me turn to you, to Brian over here.
Hello, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Oh, it's the Brian Show.
Love that name. Let me just say that we were fortunate enough to have met Brian, and Brian is the one that introduced us to Adam and Contour. And thank you for that. Thank you for that.
You're
and
welcome.
thank you for the work you do. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Okay, a little bit about me is I've been in the business, being on the loan side, being a loan officer for about the past 11 years. I recently joined Contour the beginning of February. As you indicated, we had formed a relationship, got to know one another prior to me coming on board with Contour, and I thought that what Contour could offer would be a perfect fit for what you guys are looking to do.
Tell us a little bit about what distinguishes a veteran's home loan from a regular loan.
Probably the biggest difference is with a VA loan, you can get 100% financing, which differs from the other products that are available. Depending upon the service and whether or not they were injured as a result of their service, the VA funding fee can be waived as a result of that if they meet the criteria. The other key factor is there is no monthly mortgage insurance. So the two biggest factors being 100% financing and the fact that you don't have a monthly mortgage insurance.
Tell our listeners and our viewers what the PMI is. How does that work? Just so
Well,
they know the difference.
PMI is basically insurance to protect the lender against default. And if you look at an FHA loan, you're going to be paying anywhere from 0.80 to 0.85% on your loan amount on a monthly basis.
That adds up to a lot of money.
That adds up to, depending upon the loan size, it could be $200-300 additional each month
Now,
for you.
You mentioned that there's a VA fee involved in a VA loan.
A VA funding fee, and depending upon the loan to value will determine exactly what that VA funding fee will equate to. So if somebody does have to pay the funding fee, typically it's 2.15% for somebody that's done regular service. That doesn't apply to your reservist. 2.15%, but that's putting 100%, receiving 100% financing. If you're putting a down payment, that percentage goes downward accordingly.
So even if you are getting 100% financing, if a veteran wanted to, they could put money down on a house to lower their monthly mortgage payments?
Absolutely.
Does that happen a lot of times?
It happens, and again, it depends upon the amount of assets that a veteran has, because we also have to take into account that there'll be closing costs, and depending upon where you're looking to purchase, those closing costs can be in, mid-teens. What we are also able to do and factor in is a concession of up to 4%. That can be applied towards closing costs.
Why don't you tell our listeners what that means?
Okay, basically, what that does is, based upon the percentage of that concession, that can be applied towards closing costs, so that the borrower, in this case, the veteran, will have to come with less money to the closing table.
Well, let me see if I can give them a little example. So if you were going to buy a house for, let's say, $350,000, and you were able to get a seller's concession of, let's say, $10,000. That would raise the price of the house
That is
from
correct.
$350,000 to $360,000.
That's correct.
Right? And you're basically financing your closing costs.
That's absolutely correct.
All right, and that helps the veteran because that's $10,000 less that they have to come out of pocket for the closing costs.
Absolutely.
So let me make it, did you want to say
Well,
anything?
just 2 points as I'm hearing this for someone that's not, we speak mortgages every day. We talk about a fee. That funding fee by the Veterans Administration is financed into your loan. This is not an out-of-pocket expense. The other variable that's extremely important to be aware of is that the interest rates, fixed interest rates on Veterans Administration loans are significantly less than a conventional 30-year mortgage for a non-veteran. I just wanted to share that as I'm
Right,
listening.
and I appreciate that, and, and that's a lot. Let's talk about the concession and the funding fee, and then we'll just jump to break. But for those veterans and active military families out there, let's talk about the fees, for example. The concessions we'll talk about after, because I have a train of thought that it's going to take a little longer, and I know we have to go to break soon. But correct me if I'm wrong. There's a lot of banks and lenders out there that, on top of the funding fee, and we've had this unfortunate circumstance happen to us, that these lenders and banks charge an underwriting fee, an origination fee, a this fee, a that fee, and at the end of the day, there's so many fees piling up that these veterans are like, where is all this money coming from? I believe that Contour does not charge those origination fees to these veterans. Is that correct?
That is correct. It sort of defeats the whole purpose of offering this type of loan for a veteran. It's a special program for special people. And I mean that as way, with so many ways that the government can take from you. This is one of the programs that they're actually giving. We can all have an extended conversation about the lack of funding and prior administrations which have taken away from veterans across the board. I will say that the one program that they've managed to get right from a government-sponsored program is the VA loan program. And I don't think it's responsible lending by some of these other mortgage companies. Surely everyone has the right to pursue their way to be profitable, but Contour as a whole just finds that it goes against our moral fabric when it comes to offering these loans to a veteran. We don't want to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. If we're going to say that we're honorable and we represent the veteran's interests first, we're certainly not going to broadcast that and yet at the same time try to tack on some excessive fees in the sake of us to be more profitable.
With that said, we're going to go to break. I want to end it on that note, and we'll be right back.
Goldman and Maurer, a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. With over 50 years of combined legal experience, Goldman and Maurer offers a wide array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the area of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman especially prides himself in working closely with veterans and guiding them step by step through the purchase of their new home. Alan Maurer practices exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman & Maurer, a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. Goldman & Maurer for all of your legal needs. 516-773-8585. That's 516-773-8585. The law office of James E. Way. James has been providing legal services of 18 years to the real estate community with dedication to the needs of first-time home buyers. He's well-versed in all facets of veterans home funding. James will take all of the veterans and their military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call at 516-487-0100. That's 516-487-0100. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapies, CIIT, is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing the biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each of their patients to improve their overall quality of life. You're in good hands with Allstate, especially when you're dealing with the Lerner Agency. 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenville, New York. That's 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenville, New York. 516-621-7400. 516-621-7400. Listen, blow the dust off your insurance papers and give them to Andrew Lerner and the Lerner Agency and let him take a look. Let him take a look. Make sure you're protected and make sure you're paying. Save some money. Call the Lerner Agency, okay? 516-621-7576. Sell to a Veteran, nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island. It provides U.S. military and veterans families with much-needed services to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan. I know as a veteran, when you get that certificate in the mail that says VA loan, it's a question. There's a lot of questions you might have. And Sell to a Veteran, they can help you answer those questions. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance, you want to give them a call. 888-234-7171, 888-234-7171, 888-234-7171. I might be outdating myself, guys, because I don't know if they send it. Today's world, they might just email it. I don't know, or they just electronically, or here, let me get you, or they electronically do it. Back when I did it, we used to get the envelope, you used to get the certificate in the mail, and you'd look at it and go, ooh, look, they're going to give me all this money, but that's not the case. You need these questions answered, and that's what Sell to a Veteran and people like Contour Mortgage and attorneys like Brian Goldman can do. So you want to give them a call at 888-234-7171. Even if you're planning on getting out of the military recently, like I know there's a lot of guys that are listening right now, especially one, Eric, that's listening down there in North Carolina. One thing that was said about Malloy Brothers, all right, Eric said to me, one thing he said, the one thing he found, he goes, boy, the job application process has sure changed. So I want to say that things like Malloy Brothers that make it easy for guys like that to be able to make a living, instead of having to come out of the military and say, okay, we're going to pay you $12 an hour. I know for a fact that Mayflower, the programs that they have, the leasing of their trucks that are available, they make it very affordable. It's a great company to work for. I've been out there over the road. I worked for National Freight for almost 2 years. I traveled across the country. I did teamwork and single ride. And Mayflower, when I used to pass the trucks, you go, boy, I want to drive one of those because it's clean, it's good. They even provide you helpers, if I'm right? They provide the helpers that when you get there, so the driver doesn't even really know how to pack the truck. He just has to make sure it's done properly. All right, there you go. All right. Headquartered in Great Neck, New York, but serving the entire metropolitan area, Magnificent Homes and its staff works daily to educate prospective home buyers and their sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Homes at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. Let me tell you something about Michael Aharoni, all right? When it comes to real estate, this is the man you want to talk to. And when it comes to the legal aspects of things, Brian Goldman is the man you want to talk to. So I am proud to associate myself with Veterans Entertainment Talk Show. And now I'm going to shut up and give the show back to Michael. There you go. All right, there you go.
Listen, you have a better voice than we do.
Do I? You like my DJ voice?
Yeah, right?
Hey, Contour Mortgage, can you see a commercial being done?
All right. I appreciate you mentioning Malloy Brothers again. They were our first guest on the show, and they really do a lot. And I'm looking offset because he's sitting here watching. But let's get back to Contour, and I want to reiterate what we just said as well. Contour believes in our military. Contour believes in the veterans that you serve, and to go out there and not charge an arm and a leg to these veterans, not try to take advantage of them, really says a lot about who you are as an organization. And you being, Adam, one of the principals of Contour, it means a lot to us, Brian and I, for people that do things for our veterans, like the Sell to a Veteran program, that we have lenders such as yourself running an operation that gives back. So I thank you for that.
Kudos. Thank you so much.
But I want to talk about the concessions just very briefly, and so people can understand a little more. Of course, there's closing costs involved in purchasing a home, and especially here on Long Island, where we're doing the radio show, closing costs can be like $15,000 or higher, depending on where you're buying. And a lot of these veterans don't have the money in the bank to really come out of pocket. And that's where Sell to a Veteran came in. That's the
Absolutely.
idea of the Sell to a Veteran is not only are we educating the sellers and saying, sellers, why don't you sell to a veteran? You know, it's those veteran buyers that need the help also. They may be eligible to purchase that home. They may have good income. They may have good credit, but they may not have that much money in the bank.
Well, imagine you go and you negotiate a contract.
Right.
And you think, oh my goodness, I'm going to buy this house.
Yeah.
Contour Mortgage, they pre-approve me. I'm going to have enough money to buy this house. And then when you sit down with someone like me and you go over what your expenses are out of pocket, it blows people away. I mean, people don't understand the concept that they have to get title insurance. Most people don't know what that is. It's an important and integral part of the process. And for those of you out there, I'll give you just a 2-second synopsis. Title insurance is like getting car insurance. It insures you, so in the event that there's something wrong with the person who sold you the property, maybe he didn't have the right to sell it, maybe his relative had the right, but this person sold it to you. Title insurance comes in and defends you in case that person comes later on and makes a claim saying that that's my house. So it's a one-time premium. It's statutory. It's the same in every other company. They're all going to pay the same rate, but it's not pennies. And then there are all different things that a title company does. They search to make sure that the house has all the legal requirements. There's a thing called the certificate of occupancy to make sure that if you're buying a one-family home, it's been approved to be a one-family home. That if they put an addition on, for example, that they got the necessary filings, that the plumbers came in and there was an inspection, electricians. So all these things add up. I did a closing the other day, and the title bill was $11,000. Now, part of that was when you take out a loan, you have to pay a mortgage tax. Okay, so whatever money you borrow, there's going to be a tax on that. In addition, there's taxes, real estate taxes that every one of us pay. Depending upon when you buy that house, the buyer is going to have to reimburse the seller if the seller's paid the whole years of taxes. So all these things add up. So when you have a title bill, in and of itself of $11,000, in the example we got before, Brian, the $10,000 concession doesn't even cover the title bill.
Does not cover everything.
Right.
One of the things that we have the possibility of looking at, depending upon the wherewithal of the veteran in terms of their income, is we could potentially look at providing a lender credit to
What's that?
offset. Depending upon where the loan price is, there's either a cost at a particular rate or a credit at a particular rate. So if there's a credit available, we can apply that credit to back to the veteran, and in turn, apply that to their closing costs. So when we look at a concession being applied, we can also look at the possibility, if they qualify, to provide a lender credit that would increase or decrease, I should say, the amount of money that they would need to bring to closing.
Now,
Gentlemen, we have a question. Somebody's questioning here from California, Tim from California. He's soon to be out of the military, and he's asking, how long does the average process take to be able to put a mortgage together from application to closing?
Realistically, we're about 35 to 45 days, all things being equal.
That's really good, because I know, and Brian knows my history, and I've seen mortgages where mortgages have closed in 2 weeks because the people do what they're supposed to do and provide the documentation that they need to provide. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand, is that it's not the mortgage company or the lender that's actually holding up the mortgage. Sometimes it could be the person that's not providing the proper documentation that the company needs to be able to get the loan approved. Once they have the documentation and the appraisal and the title insurance, and a company like what you guys do, all right, which is thorough and efficient, can get 30 days is fabulous to be able to say that, because when you have somebody and they want to sell their home, they may need to sell that home in order to be able to buy another home, and then you're holding them up, and the next thing you know, you got to get lawyers like Brian involved and fighting over
No,
deposits.
it's a very good point, Eric.
You know,
It's a very good point. And
Yep.
let me ask you, in that
Yeah,
line.
I just wanted to touch upon one thing.
Yep.
And you made a very valid point, is that when documentation is provided
Right.
on a timely basis, obviously, we're able to turn that around on our end that much quicker. And you could realize a closing within 30 days.
You can, absolutely, yeah.
Granted, if, a seller is available to close within that time.
I will say this towards that point. It's important that when you initially engage with someone, meaning you're speaking to the veteran, or any borrower for that matter, for the first time, that you are aware of what documentation is required. So when you obtain that up front, instead of it turning into a scene from Steve Martin, the Jerk, where he's going, all I need is this, and this, and this, throughout the mortgage process, and that speaks towards the strength of the originator and the mortgage company and the training to deal with the person up front, get that documentation, know what you need, so that way that enables the loan to move from A to Z in the least amount of time as possible. It's not just about closing on time, it's
Right.
about closing without any anxiety.
Right. And the good thing about being in the military is the fact that a lot of the military personnel, they don't have the privilege of having judgments, that type of thing. So it's like it's when you're coming out of the military and you're looking to purchase a home, these are the type of guys that you need to deal with, because it could be, you could be taken advantage of out there, especially when you've been out of the real world. I call it the real world. When you're in the military world and the real world, when you've been out off the streets for so long and then you approach somebody and you turn around and go, wow, things have changed over the last 8, 10, 15, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And all you really want to do is be able to provide for your family, find a job, and get a home. So, when you're dealing with the mortgage process, as you guys said before, it can be very stressful. I think what you guys do, and especially with the 30 to 45 day closing, makes it a lot less stressful, which is good.
Yeah, the stress factor is it's enormous. Let me ask you this, though. If you were going to talk to a veteran who was thinking about getting a loan,
Yes.
just thinking about it, what documents would you tell them to start putting together to make the beginning of it, the commencement of the process smoother?
You read my mind. I was just about to ask that.
So-
Because
Great minds
there's a
think
lot, hold your thought, because there's a lot of veterans and active military out there listening to us. And this is amazing, this is great, but they don't know where to begin.
Right.
So, and to do that,
Well, there's one thing that a veteran is aware of is, certainly with the government, there's a lot of forms. So the most important form to start is the DD 214, which indicates the service and the details about the veteran itself, because we use that form to obtain another document, which is called the Certificate of Eligibility, which then will tell us, is the funding fee that we talked about, are they exempt from that based upon do they have a disability? So to start primarily, it's going to be that information, and then it's common sense documents, but recent pay stubs, 2 years tax returns, and the bank statement. If there's going to be some money that's going to be exchanged, we're going to have to identify where that's coming from. They can receive a gift, and I don't want to go, make this a detailed conversation about the mortgage process, because we'll put everybody to sleep. But it starts with identifying the veteran and the branch of service, and the details with that are with the form DD 214, and then the certificate of eligibility, which sounds great. You're eligible for this loan.
right. Listen, there's a lot out there, and a lot of it's confusing, and Contour Lending is here. I know we have to go to commercial break. If any of you have any questions that are listening, not just about the VA loan, any loan, FHA, conventional, jumbo, you name it, definitely give a call. You can call us directly, because Contour Lending is the bank of choice that we have for the Sell to a Veteran program.
Lender, not bank.
Lender. I said lender. Did I say bank again? Lender.
Just remember the
Don't say
bagels, lender.
Lender, right? But if you don't want to call us, you can call Brian directly. Brian, if you could just give your phone number, please.
Sure, 516-838-6313.
And we'll be back with Contour Lending right after the break.
Goldman and Maurer, Goldman and Maurer, Goldman and Maurer, proud sponsor of Vets Radio with over 50 years of combined legal experience. Goldman and Maurer offers a wide array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the area of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman especially prides himself in working closely with all veterans and guiding them step by step through the purchase of their new home. Ellen Maurer practices exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman and Maurer is a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. Goldman and Maurer, for all of your legal needs, 516-773-8585. That's 516-773-8585. Attorney James Way has been providing legal services to the real estate community for over 18 years with dedication to the needs of first-time home buyers, and he's well-versed in all facets of veterans' home funding. James will take all of the veterans and their military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call for all of your real estate needs, 516-487-0100, 516-487-0100. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapies, the CIIT Center, is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing the biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each of their patients to improve the overall quality of life. Let me tell you about the Lerner Agency. You're in good hands with the Lerner Agency and Allstate, 71 Glen Cove Road. That's 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenville, New York, 516-621-7400. That's 516-621-7400. Sell to a Veteran is a nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island that provides U.S. military and veterans families with much-needed services to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan, in buying, selling, and or refinancing a home. If you're a veteran or an active military serviceman or woman, you want to call Sell to a Veteran today at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. Magnificent Homes, LLC, headquartered in Great Neck, New York, but serving the entire metropolitan area. Magnificent Homes and its staff works daily to educate prospective home buyers and sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Homes, LLC at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. And now back to my co-host, or the people that we co-host the show with. We're coming back with Brian Goldman and Michael
This
Iaroni.
has to be done in 5
There
minutes.
you go.
Thanks, Eric.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
So, we've been
I
off
was a hot
camera.
mic and I'm talking.
Yeah, I know. We were talking off
Only for a second.
during the
this time.
commercial.
It's all right. It's all right. Timing's quick. It's live.
Listen, one of the things that we love about Contour, perhaps really the most important thing for us, is when we refer a client, that we know our client's getting taken care of. And that personalization, that face-to-face dealing with a client is to me the most important thing. I think we'll all agree that reputations are very easily destroyed by not doing the right thing. And the people so far that we've referred to your company have said nothing but great things about the personal touch. So thank you for that, first of all.
Thank you.
When we talked before about what makes a VA loan different from other types of loans, the first thing we talked about was the 100% financing. Tell us, are there any other important points about the VA loan that a veteran or a military serviceman or woman should be concerned about?
We have a little more flexibility, if you will, with respect to FICO scores. So somebody with possibly some compromised credit, we can certainly entertain lending on the VA side with that. And again, to Adam's point from earlier, the interest rates on the VA product are extremely attractive, even those with somewhat compromised credit.
So I think it's an important point that all veterans and military servicemen and women should realize, and that is you still have to qualify for the loan. You're not, no lender, no mortgage company, and no bank is giving away money. You have to qualify. You have to meet the requirements. The thing that sets Contour Mortgage apart from other companies is the ease in which the process goes. It's a, from beginning to the end, it's a smooth process.
Well, communication is key and information is key. I personally, whether or not I'm working with a veteran or working with anybody else who's interested in obtaining a mortgage, the thing that I try and do with them is provide as much information and knowledge as possible, because the more informed they are, the better they are in the entire process in terms of getting from point A to point B. The other thing that I'd like to do is just make myself available at all times, because I was on that side of the fence in purchasing a home, and I remember how nerve-wracking it was when that person on the other side did not get back to me.
Well, let me tell you about that, ladies and gentlemen. I have dealt with Brian, and he has that cell phone. I think he sleeps with it, because no matter what time I call him, I get a return call. He'll pick up a lot of times, but I'll get a very, very quick response. And being a home buyer, like I said before, is a nerve-wracking experience. And you're a very calm person, and to calm and to quell the nerves of a veteran during this process is so important. And I really thank you for that. And I've seen it in action. I mean,
Listen,
it's amazing.
you need the local service. You need the people that will not only be there for you 24/7, but understand what you need. Listen, veterans and active military families, you can go Google VA loans, and you're going to get a dime a dozen banks or whatever the case may be.
And lenders.
And lenders, and that was for you. And, but why Google? Why Google when you have an organization like Sell to a Veteran, where we are here to focus on that, help you, guide you through contact to contract to home ownership. Have a lender like Contour Mortgage there by your side 24/7, and to really guide you through that. They're more than it's more than just Googling. As you can see from where we're going back and forth, there is a lot involved when it comes to the VA loan. But you don't have to worry about that, veteran. You don't have to worry about that.
Contour's going to worry about that for you.
That's
their
what we're
job.
here for.
But as much as there is, when you hear a lot, the lending process, I want to demystify this.
Please.
Pay stubs, tax returns, and some common sense explanation if there's a bump on your credit. You tell it like it is, you provide the documentation, somebody analyzes it. Contour bases our review of this with a common sense perspective, which is extremely important. We follow the VA guidelines. We don't add any extra rules that some companies do because they're more risk adverse. Government says we can do this. We follow those rules. They make them more lenient for the veteran. We explain the process, but it isn't as complicated as people make it. Other lenders or banks make it more complicated.
It's not rocket science.
It really isn't.
Okay. And so let me just say this. So for all the veterans out there and all the active military servicemen and women, regardless of where you are, I mean, you're in,
Moving your mic.
okay, you're in 19 states, and you have brick and mortar facilities in several
In
states.
several states.
Call Contour. They're going to make
Phone number?
516-838-6313.
There you
going
go,
to
right on the
make-
spot.
They're going to make your experience an easy experience. You're going to enjoy it. I'm
And
telling
you know the best part is?
What's that?
The Sell to a Veteran program is with you every step of the way.
Absolutely.
Through Contour Mortgage. And that's what it is. You don't only get a lender. You get our program as well. I know we have about 5-6 minutes left. I definitely want to touch upon Contour Cares. And the reason why I want to do that is because that's one of the things that I like about your company. And the fact that, yes, you have the Sell to a Veteran program that you have graciously brought us in, and I appreciate it.
We thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But you have Contour Cares. Would you mind explaining a little bit about that?
Well, Contour Cares is for not just one specific area, but it's where we can be involved through charity, through time. It's not just about writing a check. It's about investing time. It's about feeding people, around Christmas time, and people will go and they'll feed homeless people. It's about being available. It's about sponsoring and being part of Pink Tie, where it's one of the charitable organizations that we work with that supports children's cancer. It's about being involved and truly caring, and not just saying it, but actually acting it. Because anybody can associate themselves with a charitable organization and they can write a check. But are they really involved? Are they those people? Are they the person that you want to be? We are your next door neighbor, okay? We are active in the community. We don't, even though this is we're a direct lender, we're not controlled by shareholders. We're a medium-sized company. We have about 250 total employees, and we screen everybody because the prerequisite for working with Contour is you need to care. we have a tremendous responsibility for lending, but it goes beyond just lending. It goes on who we are and what we're going to be involved with. So someone will come to us and say, hey, would you like to be involved with this or support that? And maybe it will involve a donation because money does help move it along. But then it's going to, be involved in terms of, can you go? Can you actually show up? Can you donate your time? Can you listen? Can you be of value? Can you offer your expertise in whatever field it may be, to offer an opinion or to be involved with a charitable organization? This is just one that's close to home. Personally, I'm the child of a Vietnam veteran, a Purple Heart recipient. I didn't serve actively myself, but I was there and I witnessed some of the challenges that my father dealt with coming back from Vietnam War. And the toll it can take and the lack of support for a long time that the government was able to. So when we as a lender are able to now help and assist veterans with financing and making homeownership possible, it just makes me feel good. It really does.
Yeah, I feel your passion, and that's one of the reasons why we're so happy to be working together.
Let me just say this also. It's a heartwarming story. Michael and I also, and we've told everyone many, many times, we're not veterans. We're not veterans. My dad was a veteran. His grandfather was a veteran. We're not doing this because of that we're making money from this. This is not, it's a charitable organization. We're doing this to give back to the Vietnam veterans, to the veterans that served in Afghanistan, to any and all veterans and active military servicemen and women, because, it's a platitude. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. It's so easy to say that.
And,
But to
like Malloy, right? And I want to touch upon this because I know we only have about 1 minute left, so
ahead.
I don't mean to
No,
interrupt
it's
you. Is the fact that, like Malloy Brothers, who was on earlier today, and you mentioned this before earlier, not only do you have veterans on staff, but you can hire veterans.
100%.
So those veterans and active military families out there, if you want to get into the real estate industry, may it be through Malloy Brothers, and we thank them so much for doing what they do for our veterans. It may be being a real estate agent through our organization, or may it be being a loan officer through the Contour Mortgage. We are here. We are the team. We are the face. We are here to help you. If it's not getting a job, it's getting a house. If it's not getting a house, it's getting a mortgage. If it's not getting a mortgage, it's whatever the case may be. We are here. I know we threw a lot at you. We have about a minute left. I just want to give final words to our guests. If you have any questions, any concerns, give Brian a call. He'll mention his phone number when he speaks again. But they're not going to they'll be on again. They're going to be on again. This is just the start. This is we want to change the life of, there goes the mic. We want to change the life of the veteran. We want to make the American dream a reality.
And what better way to do it than with a local company, a company that gives back to the veterans and servicemen and women in the community, as well as potentially nationwide, with all the offices and with all the with the ability. Well, you're licensed in so many other states.
Yes.
So we're dealing with people, ladies and gentlemen. These people care. Now they're a business. They're a business. But you heard from Adam. He cares about the people that he's serving, and they served us. You served us, veterans, and now we're going to serve you back.
With that said, Brian, do you have any final words before we wrap up? And in that, please give your phone number again.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to just thank all of the veterans that are out there. My dad was a World War II veteran, involved in many battles, and I gave him a lot of credit for his time served. And I'd like to thank everybody who's listening for their time and their service. It's very much appreciated. Again, if people have questions and they would like to have a chat with me, I can be reached at 516-838-6313. Thank you.
Great. I want to, before I give Adam the last word, I want to bid a shout out to Janet Russell. Janet Russell is listening in. She was on our show last week. She comes from a major veteran family. So thank you, Janet. David Nedlin is actually communicating with us. So a big shout out to David Nedlin by watching.
Love David.
Yes, as well as David Gusson. He's watching. And all the viewers out there that are currently watching us live as I'm watching you watch us watch you. I appreciate that. So with that, some final words.
We're real people. We're a lender, but it's not just about a financial institution. We communicate, we're available, and we care. and it shows. And I'm proud to, with the people that work with us, and I'm proud to be a part of this, and thank you.
And
Thank
I
you very
thank you,
much.
and I'll have Brian wrap it up since you weren't here last week. But before I do, I want to thank Malloy Brothers again. I appreciate you doing everything that you do. And again, MalloyBros.com, or call the Sell to a Veteran program. We're happy to have you as an affiliate, and we're happy to have you serving with us. And as I always say to everybody out there, and I'll give Brian the final word, thank you everyone out there for supporting what we do. You know, thank you for believing in us. Thank you for sharing our Facebook posts. Thank you for sharing our live video. Just thank you. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. And with that said, I give you the last word.
Last word is just thank you to our guests today. Extremely informative, nice people, and thank you for the work that you do.
See you next week, next Thursday, 2 p.m. on www.veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com.